Hey, welcome to another edition of Rivals. Rivals has arrived, and oh, where are we going today, Jason?
Well, you leave me to do my homework, and you never know what's going to happen.
Watch out if you leave the defensive lineman in charge.
Yeah, but it becomes fun, man. I guarantee excitement because you know what? You look at everything that's going on right now in the NFL and how they just drop the political football, if you will. And you know how I believe politics don't belong in sports, in my opinion. And I think the NFL has really dropped the ball on this and missed a great opportunity to unify versus create more derision. But hey, they could learn a lesson from the Legends League.
The Legends League?
Yes.
So the Legends is like
legend.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not like
League.
Legendary players?
Not Jason and Scott as in legendary football players in our own mind.
Okay.
But the Lingerie League. Dude, they could. Let's cue this up and see this, because honestly, the NFL could take a lesson from the Lingerie League, the Legends League. Now, this is awesome.
It symbolizes all the blood, sweat, and tears that have been shed so that we as Americans can raise our flag across our nation. The LFL salutes all those who make this the greatest country in the world. And we stand in salute of our flag.
That's awesome. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Hey, I saw that and I was like, what on earth is the NFL thinking? I mean, look at these gals in the Legends League, and they play off of it, and it's all patriotism. It's all about, Pledge of Allegiance, keeping it very Americana and patriotic versus, bringing in politics into the stadium and into the huddle. And
I can't help, I have to say this. I think everyone would stand at attention if they had that every week for the national anthem.
It has its place, right?
It's got its place.
It was crazy. The first time I saw the Lingerie League, my buddy Mark Rippin, my old teammate, and you're going to grab Rip for an interview on your other show. Helmets off. Yeah, which will be awesome. I'll hook you up with Mark's phone number on that. But man, his daughter Angela was a quarterback,
she's a quarterback.
Quarterback, and she was awesome.
So
and beautiful.
Would you let your daughter do this?
I would honestly have a hard time with it, but my daughter played powder puff in high school and loved it. She's tough.
Yeah,
but to go to that level, nah.
I coach high school basketball, girls.
Yeah,
and it's different than coaching boys because you have to be very careful in how you talk to the girls because they will live on every word you say.
Yeah, and they'll remember it 5 years later. Or 20 years later.
And if you look at them the wrong way, you're going to generate tears. Right?
You've lost them for practice.
It's going to be an ugly thing. No. But when they get on the court, they are tenacious. I mean, they are more vindictive and mean and sneaky. They'll pull hair. They'll
get after
they'll
it.
scratch with
fingernails. I coached my oldest daughter in fast pitch softball.
After it,
they'd call each other out. My daughter and her team in softball would call other girls out, and they were going to fight. So you look at this, man. They clock people in this when you actually watch it. There's some pretty good hits, but I think in the whole approach to it, and I looked at it and went, you know what, the NFL has missed an opportunity to unify. You look at the principle of football from Little League, high school, college, NFL. What was it? Become a team, become a football family, have each other's back, keep anything that's a conflict to the team outside, right? Remove it, because we've got, at this moment in time in the huddle, we've got to go to battle and have each other's back, right? It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, brown, what mom's Democrat and that guy's parents are Republican and they're that religion and that religion. It didn't matter. It was all thrown out the window, right? And we come together in that moment, in that huddle, and have that pure sport out on the field where we can leave it all behind us. And I think the NFL needed to take that approach in this and let them move the personal protests outside of the stadium, outside of the organization.
Okay, but you could also argue, and as you're talking about, hey, there's a certain percentage of players that their protest to them is very real, right? Very personal. Yeah. So if everyone has everyone's back, and they're watching out for one another. But you're a guy that says, well, I don't agree with what you're doing, and I want to stand for the national anthem. So how do you deal with that? How do you reconcile that? Because that's kind of what's happened with this situation. And now the president's come in and he's kind of thrown a wrench in it, and he's kind of created this backlash where now the players are saying, the
players are fighting
not
back
going to
against
call
the president,
right? And so it's just gotten mired because it's not about what was being So you talk about unifying and bring everyone together. How does everyone come together if everyone doesn't agree on the issue?
Because it lacked leadership from Goodell in the NFL office to the owner of the team to the head coach on down. I think if the players would have fallen in line, if they would have communicated it correctly. Because we go back to our day, and inside the locker room, we had our political differences. Guys would get in sidebar conversations, whether it was religion or politics, and people would be, getting at it a little bit here and there, and then you'd go out to practice.
And that was always in private, though.
It was always in private.
Yeah.
It was in the locker room, though. It happened, all those sidebars and politics.
I understand.
Race, we'd talk about race in the locker room, we'd talk about religion. And
for the most part at lunch, when you sat down at lunch,
yeah,
people sat down by color for the most part.
Yeah, you'd sit by guys that thought the same as you. Yeah. It wasn't color-based, it was more like cultural-based, because you'd be like, we think the same.
Right.
And your friends, you'd hang out. But we'd have those big discussions. And I think what's happened is, and we'd leave that we'd leave it in the locker room, like you said, we'd leave it there, and we'd go out and practice, and we'd take care of business. We'd go out to the game, and man, we'd go, all right, it doesn't matter whether you're Southern Baptist, you're black, I'm white, you're brown, whatever, man, we're a team right now, and we're going to win this football game. And we'd put it behind us. We'd compartmentalize it. And it's come out of that compartmentalization, if you will, and leaked out onto the football field. And I think if we would have started at the top with a great message from the NFL of like, hey, yeah, these guys have a right to protest and voice their opinion, but not at work, right? Not when you're representing an entire community of the metro Washington, D.C. area, for example, that are full of Democrats and Republicans and libertarians and independents and everything else. That's just, they needed that message to come from the top down in a way where those guys are supported for their voice, but to do it at the proper place and not out here when they're representing an entire metro city and an organization, and just show them respect, but yet keep everything in line. Like we did in the old days. Dude, Joe Gibbs would have, you disrupt Joe Gibbs' locker room back in 1991, he would have cut you in 15 seconds if you caused a derision, divisiveness inside of our team formula.
So you think that it's more of, it's kind of a locker room discussion. It spilled out into a public way that really maybe didn't represent everyone's interest and probably should have been handled differently.
Should have been handled differently
than it was.
Because we had these type of conversations when you and I were playing in the league back in the 80s and 90s and up to 2000. We've always had these political conversations and heard people voice their feelings about and anger about this politically and that. But we kept it there. And then get involved in your, political desires in the process, right? Outside, and leave your profession where your profession is, right? Here's your family life, here's your professional life, here's your religion, and you're now getting involved in the political process out in the political arena, but don't drag it into the sports arena when you're going to draw a hard line of divisiveness coast to coast in the United States. You got half the people mad as could be, and the NFL's losing fans because a lot of them are insulted. And then you got the others that are insulted too, that they want to protest. So this is really divisive, and I just think if it would have came from the top down, the proper message, and unified, and say, you know what, let's bring Republicans and Democrats together. Let's bring every religion, every race, every political denomination. Let's bring it all together, and let's be in these sporting arenas and be one, just like we are in the huddle. And that's what's so great about the pureness of sport and why everybody loves it. If we stay there with it.
So I think the way that we bring everyone together is we have the legends in charge, and
listen to the girls.
Let them lead the charge. And
our wives are smarter than us, right?
And everyone's
listen to our wives.
Everyone's going to stand at attention. So, so there you have it.
No pun intended by Scott.
You take it for what you want. Anyways, Rivals has arrived, and now it's time to go. We'll catch you later. You can catch Rivals by texting Rivals at 65537. Love to have you.
See you next time.